Upgrading your trigger for everyday carry. Let's definitely talk about this one. I get a lot of flack and I've been going back and forth myself of why I haven't upgraded this trigger on this particular M&P. Well, it's because sometimes I run it for everyday carry. Like that. And for me, kind of like the P365X macro build that we did with FDesWorks, I kept the stock internals. Stock recoil spring, stock trigger, everything on the internals was stock. Personally for me, I just want the most reliable, most consistent parts on my firearm if I'm gonna run it for an everyday carry setup. While this trigger is genuinely one of the worst triggers I've ever shot, I despise this hinge style trigger. Everyone's seen the Garand Thumb video of it being more reliable than any other firearm out there, well, trigger wise. Trigger overall is pretty reliable and I'm very used to the trigger. I mean, granted, it's not my favorite trigger to use, but I've shot thousands and thousands of rounds through this particular platform and I am very comfortable with this setup. So when you upgrade a trigger, you're really changing the core component of the firearm. From factory, they test the parts that the firearm comes, when you first buy it. Depending on the company, there's some companies out there that are not exactly the most reliable. But let's just take Smith & Wesson. We've had no issues, our personal selves, had no issues with this particular firearm. That's gonna be the most consistent, that's gonna be the most reliable with what it has from factory. Start changing those parts, there's no guarantee that it's gonna stay that reliable. And that's just a gamble. Especially for everyday carry, I just personally, just for me, I like to keep things internal-wise about as factory as possible. Now you could argue, well, Sean, you put a new barrel and a compensator on here. Yes, that is very true, but I've also put 2,500 to 3,000 rounds through it with this setup and have had zero issues. I vet my stuff as well. If I do change something, I'm gonna run the hell out of it before I actually run it for everyday carry. So it's just food for thought next time you go to upgrade your firearm, especially if it's internals or a trigger.